Hello, my name is Tony Woods and I am the head teacher here at Kisimul Lower School. We are an independent special school for children and young people aged 8 to 19. We offer provision for day placements, 38-week placements and 52-week placements. Our children and young people generally respond well to the structured environment here at Kisimul, along with the visual cues that they are set. They also respond well to the non-invasive approach that we use in managing behaviours of concern. The aim of our curriculum is to enable all of our children and young people to flourish, to achieve the best that they can be, but also equip them with the skills for lifelong learning and to take them into their journey to adulthood. The 5 areas of our curriculum are communication, language and literacy, creative learning, life skills, physical and mental well-being, cultural and community learning. We recognise that a semi-formal curriculum using those developmental and thematic approaches will best engender meaningful outcomes for the majority of our children and young people. We might also target outcomes for independent living, such as meal preparation or choosing clothing for an activity, or vocational skills such as engaging in mini enterprise projects or work-related learning. The school environment is a very bright environment. Each of the classrooms is painted in one of the primary colours with matching seating and specialist equipment within those classrooms. Our ethos is that we can't strip colour out of the natural environment and when we're out and about in the community, so we need to enable our young people to be accepting of colour within their environment and differing environments across the whole school setting and the community beyond. All of our classrooms are equipped with interactive whiteboards and have technologies alongside, including access to laptops and iPads as well for our young people. So here at Kisimul Lower School, we offer a 24-hour waking day curriculum. That means that our young people are not only learning within the school environment, but are also transferring that learning to the residential and the home setting.
Hello, my name's Jason Simpson. I'm currently the home manager at Swinderby, and that's the residential service. On a day-to-day basis, it's my responsibility to ensure the well-being and safety of all the young people on this site. We have 4 care teams, that's 2 day teams and 2 night teams. Currently, we have 4 living areas in use. That is the Old Vicarage, Arran, Ashland and Yere. When a young person arrives, we encourage them to develop and support their contribution to the home development and personalise it to a taste, because it's their home. The care we provide is holistic in nature. We use a supportive network of the therapy teams to support us on a day-to-day basis in home. So that's a perfect coordination of services that parents generally wouldn't always expect to receive on a day-to-day basis. Within the care homes, we believe in effective relationships with parents, and that means that we'll work with them through email, telephone conversation, or an alternative depending on their wishes. It's all about developing personal skills and developments and access to the community. So that is one of the leading goals of this service. During the school week, it's quite structured. So breakfast and then into education. Obviously the care staff support the young person to meet their individual needs with their personal hygiene tasks. The young people come back over to lunch with us and have lunch, back to school, and then after school there's evening activities, and these can be varied and ranged. We have learning outcomes for each young person, plus key work sessions, external activities, internal activities. There is nothing that we won't do on a day-to-day basis depending on the needs. Education and multidisciplinary team ethos is essential to the care. I have a very close working relationship with Tony Wood, the head teacher, and MDT. That's central to development. If we've got concerns or areas that we feel that we need support in, we call it MDT immediately. We've got such a large range of therapy services within site: occupational therapy, speech and language, education and psychology. These all come together to support and develop an action plan as and when required to move forward.
Kisimul has its own on-site psychology and therapies team. We work collaboratively with the wider multidisciplinary team, with individuals, families and other professionals to promote the health, wellbeing and best interests of the people who use our services. We work closely with education and care colleagues to help the people we support develop and generalise their knowledge, skills and experience. We ensure that a person's admission, time within our services and any transitions are fully supported. We will assess the functions of behaviour and then put together plans to help promote a person's skills and their wellbeing and their safety. So these plans will consist of primary proactive strategies. So this is about what a person needs on a day-to-day basis to help them feel safe, connected and emotionally regulated. So this could include visual supports to help them with their communication, it could include physical activities that they enjoy, and it could include particular routines that give them security. The plan will also include secondary reactive strategies. So this is about what a person needs to help them de-escalate when they're feeling anxious or in distress and displaying behaviours of concern. So this may include something like emotion coaching, where we would help a person identify and process their emotions, and we would model how they can safely manage those emotions. We would also have clear plans to help a person if they were to reach behaviour crisis to protect their safety. These plans are reviewed regularly in line with the person's changing needs, and happiness, wellbeing and quality of life are the target outcomes.
It's night and day.
Where do we start?
It is absolutely the impact that Kisimul have had is scary to think as parents if it wasn't there in place. You know, they've basically brought a child who lost his speech. He was very angry.
He had no trust in anybody, even with us as parents. I think Toby just lost his whole faith in the whole world around him. He didn't value himself anymore. He didn't value anything around him. He didn't engage in anything. He didn't see what was around him. He didn't notice anything around him. And at that stage, even the occupational therapist said he's on survival mode. He can only just eat, drink and sleep. That's where Toby was. He was at the lowest of the low, wasn't he?
And actually what they've done is brought him back. They brought him back. It's not only got to be right for Toby and for us, but it's got to be right for the school. And actually Kisimul didn't just jump in and go, yeah, we'll bring him in. They really analysed and actually laid down a plan and said, look, this is where we could help. And I think that for me was, I knew it was the right place. You know, you can sort of look at the facilities and you can look at all the very nice things, but actually if the school doesn't target Toby and the support for Toby, what Toby needs or needed, then it wouldn't have been right for Toby. Other schools, which I don't know whether we can say or not, but other schools just based the decision off paperwork. They just looked at CHCP and said,
but they didn't,
no,
did they?
or yes.
They actually spoke to us as parents, didn't they? And they valued our views. And we valued theirs, because as we said as well, didn't we? It has to be right for Toby as well. And this is paramount because Toby was in such a vulnerable stage anyway, because he was in such high crisis point.
Other provisions had expertise, but they're missing expertise as well, if you like, that wraparound care. So actually, when we looked at Kisimul, they had everything in one place, which is massive, and it's on tap. So actually, when your child is needing something, they could provide it straight away.
They have an OT there, they have a massive sensory room there, they have all the resources, and that is actually what has really helped Toby emotionally regulate his feelings, and that's why there's been a reduction in his anxiety, in his heightened alert, in his presentation. But it's just the whole team approach. It's that bespoke curriculum what they offer him. It's individualised to him, it's personalised to him, which again is perfect because Toby is very complex, you know, and yes, he does think differently, which is fantastic and it's fascinating, but they appreciate that and they explore that with him. And so, I think Toby feels that as well. No,
they do. And the other thing that was nice as well, because we've got a younger son who sort of has gone through, you know, different types of I don't know, assemblies and whereas Toby really never has done. But actually at Kisimul as well, and unfortunately because of COVID, they haven't done one this year, but they have ceremonies.
The summer graduation, wasn't
Summer
it?
graduations, yeah, where they have all the parents come together, the children come together, get little awards. It was fantastic.
Oh, it was lovely. It's just lovely that they share that with you as well, and it feels like they're proud of that as well, and as are we, you know. And it's just a really lovely working relationship. Nice. What we've got.
We very quickly realised that it was right for both sides, and that was great. Yeah. It was great because it excited them because they knew that they could work with Toby and improve him, and it's great for us because we found a place.
Yeah, it was. It was a huge reassurance, wasn't it?
So a lot of our young people have had a very different experience in previous settings, and we were able to support them through that transition into Kisimul, and offer support and direction to parents and carers as well. Via our MDT process and the support of our therapy team, we're able to put transition packages together where we get to know the young person that's coming into us, and to understand not only their needs educationally, but also socially and emotionally as well.
Quite a few of the young people that we support here are on residential placements, and so leaving the family home is a big thing for them and for their families, and a very difficult thing. But Kisimul will provide a lot of support with that transitional process. We will have a number of transition meetings with parents and other professionals involved, such as social workers. The therapy team will help provide resources that will help explain to the young person about the move that they're going to be having, staff that they'll be working with, photographs of the site, just so they can get an idea of where they're coming to and what to expect. But the transition process is very individualised, so we'll work with parents and we'll work with other professionals about what will be the right transition for that young person to alleviate their anxiety and give them the reassurances that they need. So it will look very different depending on the person. It's a difficult process, but I think parents are happy and relieved when they see that their child's in an environment, a specialist environment, where their needs can be met and they're making progress. And although it's difficult to not be with your child every day, when you know that that was a decision that was in their best interest so that they can get the specialist input they need. And yeah, a big piece of feedback is that that's obviously really good for parents to see that progress, and yeah, the quality of time they spend together is improved.
The impact for me is we can actually start thinking about ourselves. And it sounds really strange, but actually our world was completely consumed with Toby, almost to the detriment to his sibling as well. But actually what it started to do is, because we understand Toby more, we know where he is, where he's going, we can actually start to help ourselves. So it's a big spiral, all this lot, because you start to not look after yourselves as parents.
Our self-care just took it was never on the list, was it? And I think what I meant by the guilt was I don't feel guilty about that anymore. I don't feel guilty if I actually sit down now and just take some time out for myself. It's had a huge impact as a family as a whole, because now we can, Toby comes home and we can see him. He's had such a brilliant week. He's been engaged. He's done lots of different things. Now they've got the opportunity in Lair to take them out more, and he's doing that more. And you can see he's had a really good full week. And when he comes home now, we get really good quality time as a family. We can enjoy ourselves as a family.
We've always been proud of our children, and we're proud of Toby. But places sometimes are not accepting. And what Kisimul has done is help us understand that actually Toby is accepted, and he's actually doing the things exactly what he should be doing. And that gives you a bit of strength as a parent. So when you actually go out, it's fine.
And I know that Toby's happy and is safe, and I don't feel guilty anymore that he isn't at home during the week. And it's a whole load of emotion what you go through, and you think, well, why can't he be? Well, no, we know why he can't be here, but then he has to be there. And you go through so many emotions, and you head in so many questions, and you feel like you failed, and you feel guilty, and you think, but actually, I can now think, he's in a lair, he's in Kisimul, he's absolutely safe, he's enjoying it, he's having fun with his friends. So we need to enjoy it in the home, what we're doing now. We need to enjoy the time together. We need to enjoy the time with our other son without feeling no guilt. Because if we don't...
We started watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I know it sounds daft, but we never had time. So.
But even things like, and it sounds silly, but actually getting a bath for longer than 5 minutes, I know that sounds really silly and really simple, but we're actually allowed time for ourselves now, which we haven't done for quite a few years. And yeah, we've aged quite a bit, I think, in them few years. Yeah, but no, it's all been absolutely worth it. I think the journey what we've been on, and just you just see Toby now, and there's hope. There's always hope.
I don't know. It's a massive thank you to Kisimul.
Hugely.
I get a huge amount of satisfaction, for me personally, to be involved in helping somebody. I think, nearly all the young people that come to us are in crisis. And so it's really fulfilling to know that you can do something to help, and you can identify what they haven't currently got that they need, and you know that you can provide that in these specialist services. So you get a huge amount of satisfaction, one for helping that particular person come out of crisis and live a fulfilling life, but also for the families, because it's really difficult for the families who want the best for their son or daughter but are struggling to help them achieve that. So it's really rewarding to be part of that.
All of us came into teaching to make a difference, and I do that every single day. I get to work with some amazing children and young people who make me proud every single day. Very privileged to work with these young people, and I'm very privileged that they've asked me to lead them in their learning journey.